All of us are dying. It's a fact. But what can we do to not die so quickly? What can we do to take better care of ourselves? Because all the preparedness in the world is not going to matter one bit if we're not healthy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, we're all about pantry preparedness because it is the best money that insurance can buy. Today, I thought I would talk to you a little bit about just some things that have been on my mind. I am preparing to deal with all of those pork butts that I got on sale. Wait till you guys see all this fun stuff. But I just feel like it's necessary to have this conversation. So let's chat. How many of you have seen Food Inc? I highly recommend it. I think it's on Netflix. I'm not sure. Anyway, if you get a chance, go stream it, go rent it, go buy it, do whatever you have to do to watch it, okay? And it's an older film. It's been out for a hot minute now. They're coming out with Food Inc. 2, which I am so grateful for. I have been saying for a long time, and one of the subscribers sent me this information and said, this is what you've been telling us for a while. And I went, yeah, it is. It really is. Our health is the most important prep that we can have. No matter your age, no matter your situation, health is the number one thing for being prepared. After that comes food. Okay? So all the food in the world doesn't matter if you're not healthy. And the food that you stock will highly impact your health. As a lot of you that have been with me for a while know, I personally have battled diabetes. We have Phil who's diabetic. We have multiple different health issues that we have kind of traversed through in order to try to become healthier and to try to do it without relying on a lot of outside sources. Right now, the medical field is pushing drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, Mounjaro, to the nth degree, literally for everything. I went with a good friend of mine to visit her doctor, and she asked me if I would come into the room with her, and I said, yeah, sure. And before we were even halfway through, the doctor is suggesting that she go on Ozempic. I held my tongue because I was just there to bear witness, okay? But in my mind, I immediately went, there are 400 other things that we need to be delving into. This woman cannot get out of her chair. Why are we talking about Ozempic? When I went to the doctor last, actually for the last 2 times that I talked to my surgeon, he specifically said, I think you should be on Wegovy. Well, let's see. One of the number one reasons that I had the surgery that I had was so that I wouldn't have to be on Ozempic. Because with my health insurance, I was paying as much, I was actually at the time paying more for my Ozempic than I was for my monthly health insurance. The cost is astronomical. It's actually criminal, okay? But they are pushing these drugs because now they're saying that we're finding that, the human body doesn't have this in it anymore, and so we're trying to replace it with drugs. Drugs that are literally putting people into the poorhouse. So you can either choose to be sick or you can choose a drug to help you feel better. I think that's pretty much with all of them, right? I am anti-drugs for a bunch of reasons, and I am pro-drugs for a lot of reasons. It really depends on the person and the situation, and I understand that completely, and it is 100% your personal decision. But the best and most effective drug that we have in our arsenal today is the food that we ingest. And more of our food is food-like substances. Now, you are talking to a woman who has protein coffee every day, okay? Every day, without fail. So it's a big part of my diet. It is a big part of how I feel better, and it helps me control things. I get the higher protein, I get my coffee, and I'm good from there. Could I live without it? Absolutely. I could absolutely live without it without any qualms whatsoever. However, I choose to add it to my coffee because, like most medications, it gives me benefits that I would not otherwise see. This is not always the case. If you look at Kraft, if you look at Kellogg, if you look at Tyson, if you look at any of the corporate food companies that are out there, their only focus, and I'm not exaggerating, their only focus is on their bottom line, on making the most money humanly possible for their shareholders. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about any of us. All they want to do is feed us. Was it Kellogg, the CEO of Kellogg, that most recently said that because food prices are going up exponentially, that maybe you should just have cereal for dinner? What? Okay, that's probably one of the most inane statements I've heard in the last couple months, because there is not one beneficial aspect to breakfast cereal, period. There is no beneficial aspect other than putting something in your stomach. So the thing that I refer back to on a regular basis is back during the Depression. They were known to add sawdust to the bread to beef up the bread, okay? And it just put something in your stomach so that it made it feel like you had something in your stomach. Were the nutrients there as much? No, it wasn't. But it was something in your stomach when you were starving. And in a case like that, probably something is better than nothing. I would wager a guess that an excessively low amount of Americans today, I don't know about the other countries, can't speak to them, but a very, very, very low amount of Americans actually know what hunger feels like. Even if you are on assistance, even if you are scraping by, somehow there's always some kind of food. Now, I understand there's a lot of people where there's not. And I know my great cause, seriously, something that I feel to the depths of my soul, is making sure that our seniors are fed. Now, this becomes harder and harder to do because, one, if they are living on their own, which I highly recommend, right, then it's harder for them to create meals. And so they go over to the convenience foods that we have been programmed to have. Do you know that the second person in any two-person household with a family would not actually have to work if you ate real food and dialed back those keeping up with the Joneses expenses? That was a big push. It's convenient. And if it's convenient, it takes you much less time to actually prepare, which means you can leave the house and go work, which means all of the prices can keep going up because now we have two incomes we can tap instead of just one. What? Yeah, I said it. I did. I said it. I can put on my tinfoil hat for this, or I can look at it and go, no, this is what happened. They made our food convenient, lacking nutrition. In order to make it tasty, they sucked away the nutrition and put in chemicals. In order to make it more appealing, they added sugar, high fructose corn syrup, or any other thing that makes it sweeter because, you know, sweet's good, right? No, it's not. Do you know what's good? Fresh vegetables, even if they're starches, and your proteins. That's what's good. Now, if you're vegetarian or vegan, you know, there's ways around it. But those are your things. You need fresh vegetables and you need protein. And you don't need boxed macaroni and cheese with a cheese-like powder. You don't need Frosted Flakes. You don't need a lot of the stuff that is being shoved at us every day that we have gone, ooh, I tasted that. That was pretty good. I think I'm going to start eating that. But there's literally a negligible nutritional benefit to having it. In addition to the nutritional benefit, all of these added chemicals and preservatives and everything else are destroying our bodies because our bodies are not meant to actually consume any of that. It's not good for them. Our bodies are revolting. You are seeing a huge growth in type 2 diabetes. You are seeing a huge growth in cancer. You are seeing a huge growth in different ailments that people just didn't have before, like food allergies, because we're not eating food. And so when you add that food back into the diet, the body goes, whoa, no, oh my gosh. It's not good. It's very bad. And yet we're allowing these companies to keep pushing this stuff at us. Studies have shown that 60% I want you to wrap your brain around that. 60% of what Americans eat today is highly processed food, fake food. One of the things that I mention here often is that we don't do pantry shame. There's no shaming people about what they stock up. And some of you do it to me on a pretty regular basis when I go to things like Walmart and I buy a case of canned fruit. Those are bioengineered. I know. But there's not much I can do about it, okay? And if your budget is tight, there's even less you can do about it. So while I'm not trying to pantry shame by any stretch, what I am trying to do is encourage you to seriously look at what you are ingesting. Because prepping is a waste of time if you are not capable of being healthy enough to eat. Dead people don't need food. It's pretty much a fact. Is it convenient to eat healthy? It can be. You have to put systems in place. You have to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to commit for me and mine to make sure that we are as healthy as can possibly be. Stay out of the inside aisles of the grocery store. You've heard it before. Shop the outer. That's it. You want your vegetables. You want your fruits. You want your proteins. You want to get out. Okay? The rest of it is pure garbage. If you must have a snack, don't go get a bag of Doritos. Go get some popcorn. It's real food. Doritos are not. There are a million examples out there exactly like this. You can find replacements that are real food for the things that you like to eat, and you can make them convenient. If you want convenient, easy dinners, then you're going to have to set aside just a little bit of time, and you're going to have to prep meals for your freezer, or you're going to have to learn how to can, or you're going to have to buy freeze-dried. Any of the above, okay? Those are convenient and easy meals to put together. I have shown for years now how to use some of your canned foods so that you can create quick and easy meals. It's not difficult, and it's something that is imperative. We need to eat properly in order to function properly. And if we are eating all the things that are making the CEOs super rich, and you know that CEO is not having cereal for dinner. He's having steak, and he's having vegetables, and he's enjoying the best of the best. But all of us peasants down here that are struggling to get by with a 36.5% increase in living since 2019 are not. We are having to make choices about what we do and what we consume every single day. I don't care how you vote. It doesn't really matter to me. But if you want to be the most effective, vote with your dollars. Stop supporting the companies that are poisoning us intentionally to make the rich people richer. It's not difficult. I've said it a million times. Menu plan, meal plan, figure out meals in advance. If you know you've got a couple of busy, crazy weeks, meal plan around real food in your home. Cooking from scratch doesn't need to be hard. You don't need to be a chef, okay? You need to throw food together in a way that makes it palatable. That's all you need to do. Buying in bulk is always a great way to save money on real foods. Stay away from the processed stuff. Nobody needs 400 pounds of trail mix. Relearn what our ancestors always did. Eat seasonally. You don't get fresh strawberries in the middle of November, okay? Unless they're shipped halfway across the world. That's just the way that it works. Learn to eat seasonally. No, you're not always going to have your favorites, but you know what? It's kind of like for us older generation, The Wizard of Oz came on TV once a year. It was an event, right? Everybody got together. We pulled out the sofa bed on the couch. Yeah, I'm taking you to my home. Pulled out the sofa bed on the couch. The three of us got in our pajamas. We cuddled up on the sofa bed. Mom made us a huge bowl of popcorn, and we were glued to that screen throughout the entire Wizard of Oz with random potty breaks during commercial breaks, okay? It's fantastic because it happens once a year. It is mundane when you can access it anytime. Convenience foods happen. I get it. We're all busy. We're all chasing our tails and passing ourselves on the street, right? But if you make a serious, conscious decision to avoid convenience foods, you can do it. Do you know what? If we put McDonald's out of business, sure, there would be a few people who would need to find other jobs. If we put Kellogg's out of business, sure, there would be a few people who would need to find other jobs. They would find other jobs. Other jobs would create themselves. If we ratchet it back a little bit, why do you think the homestead thing is such a thing? It's because people want to get back to a simpler way of life. They want to eat real food. They don't want to work so that somebody else becomes rich. They want to just have what they need to survive and to thrive and to feel good in their own little place. Instead of owning a bunch of crap that nobody cares about, okay, and having to work 2 and 3 jobs in order to do it. Or there's the whole class of working poor who literally are just half a disaster away from being unemployed and having a full-on disaster. Life is rough, but pursuing all of the woo, 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 woo out there all the time only makes it rougher for a very large percentage of our population. And these decisions immediately get reflected into what we purchase. I know a lot of people out there who are like, I'm trying to be healthier, so I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money on this food that they send me that I then put together and I eat. What? Go to the store. Go to the store and buy a pound of chicken and buy some greens and buy a starch and maybe grab an apple. And you have saved a lot of money. You've saved a little bit of time and you have real food. Okay? Don't fall for the convenience. Don't fall for the convenience. Fall for the nutrition, because without it, we're dead. Reading labels, it feels like you need a master's degree in BS. It really does. Because most of us don't know what it is. Most of us don't have the time to look it up. Most of us don't know why it's in there. And most of us don't realize what it is doing to the molecular structure of our bodies. We get one shot at this life. Just one. And if we are not treating our bodies, my grandmother always said, your body is your temple. Your body is like your home. You want to make it look good and you want to make it secure. You want to make sure that it does everything that it needs to do for you. Filling it full of a whole bunch of ultra-processed garbage, sawdust and bread, is only going to dilapidate your home much, much faster than you may be wanting to do. Don't wait until you're in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, and your 80s to go, oh, you know what? I shouldn't have been eating all that stuff. Because by then, we're working twice as hard just to maintain than actually achieving healthiness. We need to get out there and eat the real stuff. Occasionally a treat. That's why treats are so special, because they don't happen every single day. While it's not an option for everybody, being able to grow some of what you want, some of what you need, is really a great way to curb that. Yes, I can spend $400 to save $219 on a batch of tomatoes. Okay, I've seen the meme. I get it, you know. But once you get your system in place, just like canning, once you get your system in place, you're going to save money and you're going to get a product that is outstanding. You have never tasted a really good tomato until you've eaten one of the ones that you've grown, not one that's been shipped halfway across the country or from another country. Do what you can to eliminate the sugar. Now I know sugar makes everything sweeter. Yes, it does. Okay. I get it. But there is so much sugar in everything that we eat that is ultra processed that we literally have no excuse to ever want a candy bar. Okay. Not all of your food should have added sugar to it. High fructose corn syrup or just plain sugar, it doesn't matter. Do you need a yogurt that has all of that crap on top of it? No, you don't. Do you like it? Yeah, sure. Okay, who doesn't like a treat every now and then? But most of the yogurts that they have out there today, you may be better off having a Snickers bar. Learn to figure out what foods are actually good for you and your body. Make decisions about what is actually good for you and your body. And when you start feeling better, you'll start moving, because the other part of this equation is movement. The fastest way to die is to sit still. You cannot go wrong if you are moving. A moving target is harder to kill. So you see a lot of people that say, you know, oh, once you retire, they just die. Retirement just means that you're going to die. That's it. Because people don't know what to do with all of this time that they're suddenly given when they have spent their entire lives working for Mr. Eat Cereal for dinner. And now they've got all this free time, but their health is so poor that they can't go out and do the things that they once dreamed of doing. A moving target is harder to kill. Keep moving, keep busy, stay active. Whether you make money at it or whether you don't. Find a way to move every single day. Find a way to learn something every single day. Find a way to do, because retirement does not mean stopping. It shouldn't mean stopping. It means that theoretically, you're not having to go out to work to continue to sustain your living. The fact of the matter is, there are more retirees earning a paycheck than ever before. They have to. They can't afford to just be. So if you're lucky enough to be one of the ones that doesn't have to go out and actively work, then find a way to move. Be like Claire in our Facebook group, okay? Claire is out there cutting her own wood for her boiler, gardening, rearranging her house, walking her hallways to get her steps in, okay? You have to keep moving. If you sit down, you die. Food Inc. 2, which I am making nothing off of this, you guys, okay? Food Inc. 2 is available now on Amazon Prime and I believe YouTube for rent. Both of them for rent. I think it's like $7 to rent it. I think you possibly can buy it also. But I cannot recommend this highly enough. They are trying to put our farms out of business. They are getting rid of our ability to actually grow and raise our own food and to be self-sustainable. They are killing our way of life, and they are killing us by giving us food-like substances on a regular basis. And because we have been trained for, I think, about 4 generations now, we sit there and go, yes, please. Say no. Be part of the movement that says, I am not going to do this anymore. You don't have to own a homestead. You don't have to be able to have a garden. You don't have to do anything other than pay attention to what you are putting into your body every day and making sure that you get up and move. You're important to me. You really are. I live through each one of your comments. You bring me into your world when you tell me your stories and when you share the information of what you are doing with your lives. I appreciate that more than I will ever be able to put to words. You're important to me. Be important to yourself. Because if you are not taking care of you, I can guarantee you the CEO of Kellogg's doesn't care a spit about whether you live or die. He just wants to make sure that when you go, you've got a cupboard full of Frosted Flakes. If you want to see about different ways to build up your preparedness pantry, check out this playlist right here. Until next time, everybody, please go watch Food Inc. 2.